This week on Travelling Planet Earth, we explore Siquijor's waterfalls, white sand beaches, and we head out into the rice fields. But we also look, is there more in Siquijor? What's up north? What are the churches like? What's the food like? What's outside the tourist areas? Well, it's early morning at 7 a.m. The sun's just coming up through the coconut trees and I'm in Siquijor. Not sure what this island has to offer. I've done a little bit of research. I've got myself a bike. I'm going to do an anti-clockwise ride, have a look at some of the waterfalls. There's some nice churches here, I've been told. We did Bohol last week. That episode's up here. Have a look at that one. Let's see what the difference is between these two. So I think I'll just take it easy, have a ride around on the bike I hired. In Bohol we had a car and we had a driver take us around. Here I'm doing it a bit differently on the motorbike. You can also hire a tuk-tuk and have someone drive you. And I have seen people also here that have hired their own tuk-tuks and done their self-drive. So it's a nice easy road. I've got to remember to stay on the right hand side. It's the American rules here. But I think it's going to be a nice, easy day. But first, let alone pronounce it, how do you get to Siquijor? So first step, we caught an ocean jet ferry from Panglao to Siquijor in business class because that included luggage. We're starting to learn by jumping from island to island. Every journey is different. The boarding process, terminals, transport and food options. And like today, a difference in weather also adds to the challenge. Today was a 2-hour cruise, but the sea and wind tried its best to alter that plan. But it's not always sunshine and paradise. This is the real side of long stay travel through the Cebu Islands. So let's get on the bike and do a loop of Siquijor. Just watching where I'm going. First waterfall I've come to on the road around. I've gone a little bit inland from Taboan Beach and I'm at Lugnason Falls. So I'm just walking down the track. It's not stairs, it's just a dirt and rock track that walks down. It's a little bit slippery in parts, but it's not too bad. It was 20 peso environmental entry fee, which is nothing, it's 50 cents. And I did hear them talking to other people up there that if you want to do that 40 minutes or 1 hour waterfall tour and have a guide take you through, they'll take you through a whole heap of separate waterfalls in this area. But I'm doing a quick trip around today, so I thought I'd just walk down, maybe put the drone up, have a look at the waterfall, see what's down there. Travelling Southeast Asia, you see a lot of waterfalls, so we know to manage our expectations. But at the end of the day, it's just great to be outdoors in that fresh air. So Lugnason Waterfall, first one of the morning. It's pretty good, easy walk down, 100 steps if that. Rocky, bit muddy, a little bit slippery at times, but some good little swimming holes down here. There was 3 people at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's not one of the bigger early morning favourites it looks like. But yep, it's nice clean water, looks refreshing, and it does have that number of waterfalls all the way down. If you've got that tour guide, not going to cost you much to do. I think there's like 8 waterfalls I'll show you as you go down the whole track. Okay, I'm going to walk back up, get on the bike, get to the next one. You guys hire shoes, vests for people that want to go down waterfalls?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for non-swimmers, life vest. For the trekking, we're having the water shoes.
Water shoes, yeah. And what does it cost to do the trek?
It's a tip, so...
It's a tip, so however you think your guide did good?
It depends on how much big heart of the guests that we have.
Okay.
Give it to the guide.
Okay, and there's lots of waterfalls in
Yeah, we have 13
Siquijor.
waterfalls.
Yeah, I saw a couple where you got the sign guide only, so yeah. Very good, thank you. Thank you. Looks like I've picked up a hitchhiker. What you doing? So the walk down to Lagan Falls, it's quite steady. It's quite a smooth path, but could be quite slippery when it's wet. It's 60 peso to come in, which is 50 plus 10 for the park, and then a guide is mandatory here, and then that payment to the guide is by donation on what you think it's worth for the day. So looks like quite an easy walk down. You're going to have an incline going back up. So the second waterfall, and this one's another one that's quite easy to get down to, Lagan Falls. This is all spring water fed and a really easy one to get down to.
Are you ready? Go! Let's go!
So I just started riding to Cabugsayan Falls, I think that's how it's pronounced, and it's the biggest tourist attraction falls on the island. But as you come through here, some of the views you get, there's some rice fields that just go into the coconut palms or the coconut trees. It's quite spectacular, just getting off the road, down little lanes, little beaches that really aren't on the tourist map. There's some really lovely stuff here. I can see why people come to Siquijor and spend a lot longer than they probably do on Bohol and a couple of the other islands, because it is pretty pristine here. So the first thing I noticed when I get to Cabugsayan Falls, it's the most touristed one. There's already a lot of bikes here, a lot of people here, and it's also the first one I've come to that's actually got real stairs that have been made all the way down, all the way up. Sometimes I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Sometimes the tracks are easier to walk rather than step climbing, especially when they're all different heights. But let's get down there, see if this one's as good as what they say. So first impressions when you get down here, it's a bit in your face. There's a few people down here. The falls are bigger than the other ones we've been to, but it is like the Disneyland of falls. I walk straight in, there's people getting Instagram selfies, etc. on a raft. There's people taking pictures on a bamboo bridge that goes across. There's a swing bridge. It's all designed to get that shot. Looks like it'd just be good for a good swim. It's funny, back home in Australia, like you turn up at a waterfall, you've been driving for an hour or so, sometimes even 6 or 7 hours. And all you want to do is just get in and have a swim. It doesn't need the photo. So the falls, yeah, I can see it being a good day. If you're here on holidays, have a bit of beach time, head in, do some of these falls. Yeah, the big one, 50 pesos. Yeah, there's a few costs down there if you want to jump off and get photos taken and all that, but reality, it's next to nothing. Yeah, it's a good day out. Probably if you're a bit younger. the Lazi Convent. It was built in 1887, about 3 years after the church directly across the road was built in 84, or 1884. It's a Philippines heritage building. It's been refurbished. It's got a lot of wood in it, and the stonework, it's that typical church building that you see around the Philippines, made from the coral and the limestone. It's quite typical of the area. It's amazing, something like this that's been fully restored is 30 pesos to come in and have a look through. It's quite incredible this, the Lazi Convent. It's pretty spectacular, except walking on the floor, it's quite old and I can feel it sort of sag a little bit where I'm on the first floor walking. It's an experience. I might head over to the church just beyond and see what that's like. So if you're doing a trip around Siquijor, I recommend definitely stop in at Lazi, have a look at the convent, 1887, and then come across 1884 and have a look at the church. The inside, once again, spectacular. Philippines, the Spanish, they definitely know how to do churches. So that's most of the morning taken up. I thought when I looked at the island, it's quite a small island, but when you start to travel around and you go down little paths to see beaches, churches, convents, there's about 4 waterfalls I thought I'd have a look at. It starts to become a bit of a journey. So right now, getting a bit hungry, thought I might try and find something that's Filipino to eat. Head up to the north part of Siquijor. I think that's just more of a drive, have a look at the scenery, grab something to eat somewhere, maybe a road style stand, see what's up in the north. So I just went down to the waterfront and the town of Lazi's down there, and it's right on the seafront. It's a nice little view. But there's a cafe here called El Monte. So I thought I'd drop in and try what is sort of a national dish of the Philippines, which is adobo, and I've got me a chicken adobo. So this is chicken in vinegar, soy sauce and a garlic. And this version has got a lot of potato in there as well. So I've got some rice on the side. And we'll just give that a bit of a try. Try the sauce first. Right, that's hit you. That's vinegar, that's soy. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. Potato. I've got a cat in here that's hungrier than I am. Okay, I'll just do the fingers for this. Oh, that's moist. That's really nice. It's got that flavour in there. Yeah, you've got the garlic, vinegar, soy. That's a real, just like, you know, just a hearty dish. That is really good. It's actually quite exceptional, the taste in there. If this was your first time in the Philippines, I would recommend this. Would probably be one of the, this and sisig would be one of the first meals you try. It's hearty, it's got full of flavour, it's fresh. And it's actually quite a big portion size for the price. Yep. So keep going on this one, then we'll get back on the bike and have a look at the north. One thing I really like doing is soaking the rice down into that broth that's at the bottom, that sauce. And the big thing that you notice with this is very, very salty. I think that's one of the signatures of the dish. That soy, that vinegar, and that salt. Although there always seems to be road maintenance going on somewhere, the road around Siquijor is a perfect ride. And that section from the north back down to the beaches has some spectacular views. First thing we've got to do is get down to the beach. So I've got on the bike and I've just driven up to Paliton Beach, which is the one that they call Little Boracay. Everyone said you should come here. It's probably one of the better beaches. I'm hoping there's better. It's really nice white sand. It's got the coconut trees. The water looks good. There's a bit of seaweed in there, but you get that everywhere. But there's a lot of clothes stands down here, bric-a-brac, a couple of food stalls. Beach is not that big for the size of the island. Okay, that was nice. The water is crystal clear, white sand beach. It is smaller than I expected. When I drove in here, there was 2 entries. On the map, this one brought me here, but I saw a sign a little bit further down that said Paliton Island. I saw a sign that said Paliton Beach as well, so I might just go down and have a look at that, see if I'm not missing something. It was only 30 peso to get in here, so not a big deal, less than $1. So the second beach is a lot smaller, a lot more busy, seems to have a pizza and a bit of a beer scene, but way smaller than the other end. And I've come back to San Juan where we're staying because I think, to be honest, in Siquijor, this is the best beach. It's long, it goes for a good mile. It's got lots of sand. There's actually restaurants on the beach. There's a lot more choice. Yeah, it's a bit more rustic down the other end, but I think this is probably the best place to stay. It's got lots of shade, the same water, but you've got a lot more choices.